So this tumbler, y'all, welcome back, by the way. Anyways, this tumbler, by the way, was not at all supposed to look or feel like this, but I am over the moon with the result of this. It really was a happy accident, which I will discuss in the video, but I really loved the way that this one turned out. This, to me, embodies all there is to say about rustic and old world, you know, that kind of feel. And so this copper, I really have been dying to use it, and I just hadn't used it yet. And so all in all, this particular tumbler came out to be a lot more and a lot more individualized than I could have imagined. So anyways, I'm very excited to bring you this video. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think. I would love to know what you think about this tumbler and what, you know, what kind of design maybe you would go with. So anyways, let's get started. Hello, welcome back. So I'm starting off with a 30-ounce tumbler here and I'm measuring the size of the tumbler because I want to cut out a template from Happy Fox Design Co. or Supply Co. I think that's what it. Anyways, this swirl I've done before. I did it for like a Halloween tumbler, and I really wanted to utilize this for the application of foils. Dixie Darling's Kelly Norris does this all the time, and I really was thinking this would be perfect for this particular application or this particular style that I wanted to do. So I pulled in the swirl pattern into Cricut, and then I measured it out to be the size that I measured there for that particular tumbler, depending on whatever size tumbler you have. You know, that's how you want to cut it. So I trimmed up a little bit of the edges there just to make sure that I didn't have too much excess. I didn't want to have too much kind of overflowing as far as whenever I have to cut the seams and stuff like that. So always want to cut those edges off. And starting off, I want to just open up just a little bit of this and kind of fold back the back piece. And I am going to take my Cami Page Boutique Ultimate Tumbler tool, and I'm going to give myself a nice straight line there so that I can have a straight line for this. Now, this is something that I definitely want to be able to match up those swirl lines that go down the, or that go through the middle of the tumbler. So I made sure that I was putting my, you know, putting it on there appropriately as far as, you know, exactly whatever, you know, measuring it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, I'm using my new Bowen thing that Rachel had sent me that I talked about. This thing is amazing. It's so cool. It's so easy to just big ol', you know, piece, just wrap it around. Anyways, I started off with this turquoise colored foil, and I was definitely going for an aged look on this. So I for sure wanted to get a little bit of distressing on that foil beforehand. So I just took it and kind of crumpled it up like that. This is what I was talking about with that excess. I didn't want to have any, you know, like excess paper or sticker or whatever on there. So I just made sure that I could get all that off. So I took this crinkled up foil and just rubbed it all around. And this, I didn't really care if, you know, I was obviously going for a distressed, worn look. So, you know, I just kind of put it on there, and however it was going to go on there was the way it was going to go on there. But crumpling it up like that really adds just some really nice, you know, aged look to the foil. So I used this little paper, this little thing that I got from Southern Belle Glitter, and kind of just rubbed all of that foil off as much as I possibly could. And then once I feel like it's pretty much come off of that plastic backing there, I just pull it off. And like I said, I had a few pieces that were, you know, it was a little bit not perfect, which was perfectly fine. Those pinstripes, they just kind of get in the way. So I just kind of removed some of those little pinstripes that were, I was going to be doing glitter and then doing pinstripes of my own on there. So I just kind of wanted to remove those little strips because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it anyway. So it didn't really matter if I took them off. So this aged copper metal look what is very beautiful, but it is extremely fragile in using it. It was flaking off, and but it gave me exactly what I was looking for, and it is an absolutely gorgeous, stunning foil. You just have to be very, very careful with this when you're using it. I definitely think that this double-sided tape would work a lot better than like trying to do it with some kind of glue or something like that. So I really think, as you can see, as I'm scraping this, you can see that it is coming off of that backing beautifully. But there are little flakes and pieces that come off of it. So you really have to kind of be wanting that distressed look, because it's a lot more difficult to work with than I had originally thought. But they did say on the website that this is like a real, kind of situation that you got going here. So just be careful and that kind of thing. So I was kind of prepared when I did decide that I was going to use this. So the biggest mistake that I made here was I left part of that metal on top for the top part of the foil, and it was still kind of sticky, I guess, from the backing of that double-sided tape. Anyways, I got a lot of that metal, that copper look on the top. And so I just said, you know what, happy accident, we're going to go with it. And I said, we're just going to put this all the way on there. And so that's what I did. I just kind of took the rest, and you can see it's kind of flaking off there. I just kind of took the rest and put that, just filled it in wherever I needed to. And I got a really beautiful, like just very rustic, distressed look that I really wasn't expecting, but it was definitely, as Bob Ross would say, a happy accident. So I did have part of that double-sided tape on the bottom that was a little bit further down than I would have wanted. So I just took my cutter here and cut that, and just kind of took all that off, and that gave me that really nice clean bottom there. I did go around the rim just to making sure this metal, this stuff, I don't even know what you want to call it, but it was very fragile, and so it was flaking off, and there's definitely not like an accuracy that you're going to get with this stuff. It's going to do and be and stay wherever it wants to stay. So this was just I was just kind of going with the flow here, and just whatever happens, happens. So that's why there is two different looks to this, but I really kind of like just kind of the gradual look of it, that it looks like it's just kind of peeling up from the bottom. Anyways, I like the way that it turned out, so I was not disappointed in that accident that happened. So I'm using Prickly Pear here from Peachy Olive Glitters, and I'm just using it the way that I always do with my double-sided tape. I just poured it on there and rubbed it in. I just burnish it in so that it really gets in there and sticks in there, so that we don't have any contamination or any open spots where the other glitter is going to get in there. I did actually have a different turquoise that I was going to put, and I kind of was going back and forth, but I really absolutely loved this Prickly Pear look, and I just thought that it went so well because it had a little bit of that coppery gold color in there, kind of mixed in, and the turquoise just really matched. And so I just was like, I'm not gonna mess this up, and what I'm gonna do is just add an orange, kind of a coppery orange in the middle. So I took Weasley, which might have been a little bit too fine in my opinion, but it still had that perfect orangey color. And then once there was no color behind it, so it was a little bit fainter, I don't know, not as vibrant, I guess I should say. But I did love the way that it looked. I thought, you know, oh, well, we're going to go with this because I think all in all, when it goes up underneath epoxy, it's going to be beautiful. So one of the things that was happening as I was brushing it and getting all of the stuff off, that there was pieces of that metal that were coming off of that top part. So as you can see here at the very top, I had a much worse situation going on than I did in the very beginning when I first put that copper stuff on there. This was the next day because I wasn't going to be doing epoxy until the next day. And so I came in and I was like, oh my goodness. So now we have this situation. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to put this under epoxy and we're just going to go with this, like that it's kind of being aged from bottom to top kind of situation. So what I did was I very, very carefully, I did not want to spray this or seal it with anything because I just did not know how it would react. And so I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this with epoxy and just call it, you know, a success. So I did the epoxy on the bottom there, and then I went through and did it on the glitter, and I was very careful to keep my fingers kind of in that area, and then I put it on the top. Now there was flakes and pieces going all over the place in this epoxy, so I waited till the very end, so that last bit of epoxy that I had, and I just made sure that I was trying to stay right above that swirl line so that all of those little pieces would stay in that particular area. I did get a little bit going down into there, but I tried to keep it as much as possible up in that top area. So all in all, it was a big accident and it was a big kind of a mess, but it turned out to be one of the prettiest tumblers that I've ever done, in my opinion. So definitely happy accidents, RIP Bob Ross. Obviously I had to go in with a couple of coats of epoxy after that because I did have a little bit of sanding to do, and then it was not a perfect coat because I wasn't like able to kind of spread it all the way up and down. So it did take me a couple of coats, and then I went in and did some of my filing. I did a bunch of sanding. I did leave the bottom exposed so that we can have a nice, safe bottom here, and I thought that it was fine with the design. I think it goes perfect with just the rustic feel that we have here going on. After I did all that sanding, I wanted to make sure that I had a real smooth surface to put my my pinstripes on. I didn't want to have any kind of waviness or anything because I was going to be using this textured copper metallic look that would match, you know, the look that we've got going on here. And so I just after I did all that sanding, I just kind of put a nice good coat of epoxy just to make sure that we were, you know, had a nice smooth surface. This textured metallic copper was absolutely perfect for this, and I honestly had a decal picked out for this because in my mind in the beginning it was not going to look like this. It was going to be a little bit different, and so I kind of at this point was like, I have to do simple things here because there's a whole vibe here going that I did not expect to happen. And so I had this decal picked out that was like tough and this and that. And it's not that I don't love Lettered by Stephanie. Not that I don't love a motivational type of, you know, inspirational type of quote to put on something, but this just did not say it to me. Once this was finished like this and I put these pinstripes on, I was like, it was just saying to me, I'm fine, I'm good, I have done my work here. The art is done, leave it alone. And so I thought about it a couple of times. I think the only thing that I would do here with this design is that if I had someone that wanted it and they wanted their name on there or something, I might do their name in like a real scripted kind of font at the bottom, maybe, and just put their name just kind of wrapped around the bottom, or maybe put like a a monogram or something at the top maybe, but that's about as far as I would go with any kind of decal on this. I just really feel like it kind of is a standalone design. So I just went through, did these pinstripes, and then of course I had to go in and seal it and make sure that it was safe for those final coats of epoxy. I really wasn't sure how that kind of metallic stuff. I really wanted to see how that outdoor stuff would work for it. I didn't want to glop it up with Mod Podge like I normally do, so I just kind of went with that coating. I thought that it might give me a little bit better coating for this metallic textured look of this particular vinyl. So anyways, I went in with that, coated it, let it dry, went in with my final coats of epoxy. Of course, I sanded my rim, sanded my bottom rim too a little bit, and added those final coats of epoxy to give us a perfect seal and to finish this tumbler up. And there she is. This is an outstanding design. I absolutely cannot believe that it came out the way that it did, and it was all because I, just accidentally got some of that on the top there, and then letting it sit for like a day really gave us that very curled up, aged look that it's been sitting, for 100 years outside or something like that. So, very awesome. Love this design. I mean, it is so rustic, so country western, that kind of style. I could definitely see this like sitting on a ranch, on the patio, on the the wraparound porch or something like that of a rancher. Anyways, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I'm so happy that it came out the way that it did. I'm so happy I was able to share it, that I recorded it and I got it on tape so that you guys, look, I'm saying tape because I'm old. Anyways, got it on film, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, like, subscribe. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think and join my Facebook group, and I'll see you next time.